Hey everybody, Dr. Mark Costas here, founder of the Dental Success Institute and author of the book, Pillars of Dental Success. And in today's quick video, I'm going to be talking about how to decrease the unpredictability of your business and how to increase the effectiveness of your team without confrontation. And just as a quick reminder, we have about 24 hours left for our super early bird pricing for our Dental Success Summit 2015, which is taking place on March 20th and 21st in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. So the super early bird price goes until December 5th at midnight Pacific Standard Time, and it is 70% off. So for 14 CE units, you can get a doctor's ticket price for only $297, regular price $997, and all staff for only $197. This thing is filling up really, really quickly, especially at this price point. So make sure that you get your tickets and reserve your seat as early as possible. That's all I have for you guys today. Enjoy the video, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Challenges and opportunities in his situation. There was no operational, I have the hardest time with that word. There was no operational systemization or team accountability. No internal or external marketing campaigns in place. No recall or reactivation campaigns in place. No current revenue or new patient standards or benchmarks in place. No overhead or cash flow controls in place. So we hatched a plan. You might see a practice that's spinning out of control. We see 8 or 10 things that immediately we can fix. Immediately. You'd be surprised how quickly a ship can right itself if you just identify exactly where the practice is bleeding. Here was the plan. Step 1, transition from a staff-dependent to a systems-dependent model. Staff-dependent, systems-dependent. Remember, he was doing great for 21 years. He rode the wave of those Michael Jordans for 21 years. But guess what? He had no idea what they were doing. When they started to leave, so did their systems, which were in their head. And stuff happens. The whole theme here is to make sure that you decrease the amount of unpredictability in your business. If Mary leaves or her husband gets a transfer, that does not need to be the end of the world. Because Mary's duties, her accountabilities, are in black and white in the operations manual that's under your desk. So if Mary leaves, you find the next best Mary. You may never, ever be able to replace Mary. Guys in this room that are auxiliaries, you guys are irreplaceable. But the practice must go on. There's 7 or 8 other people in the practice that still rely on that practice for their livelihood, including the doctor and all of your coworkers. We have this thing called the Alien Abduction Manual. We talk about this with our masterminders all the time. I haven't done this for Ashley yet, and it stresses me out every day. But if Ashley was abducted by aliens right now, I would be screwed. Because she is awesome at what she does, and I frankly don't know what she does. She just gets it done. She just GSDs, and I show up for an event like this, and I have 4 presentations to worry about, and she's worried about the speakers, and the printing, and the food, and the venue, and the room minimums, and all that stuff. So whatever she does, I need to figure that out and have her fill out her own alien abduction manual. But your version of the alien abduction manual is getting exactly to the letter what your people do on a daily basis, putting that on paper. And then we turn that into a contract that says, they help you write it. Can you tell me what your duties are? What protocol do you go through on an average day? You are my all-star. I just want to know what you do all day, every day, from 8 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Can you write that down for me? Thanks so much. A month later, you set up an appointment with that person, and you say, you know what? I think you're doing a little bit too much in this area. Let's leave that to the front office, and you concentrate on back office stuff. Let's do that. But you know what? There's a few things over here in the back that I think you're missing. This is a really, really positive meeting. You're doing awesome here. I'm going to drop some of your responsibilities here because I think they got it up front, but I need you to pick up some duties here. Can we do that? Yes? Okay, let's list these off in bullet points. Do me a favor. I'm going to say, we're going to turn this into a contract. All this stuff that you agree to, go ahead and sign that. That's your accountability agreement now. So from now on, if those things don't get done, she's accountable for it. What happened? You can call her out on it. It's defined in black and white. If she gets abducted by aliens, you know exactly what she did, from moment to moment throughout the practice. The staff-dependent dilemma. This type of practice relies on the skill and experience of the staff, the processes developed and executed by the all-stars and A players. Without specific accountable written systems in place, the practice's success hinges on factors outside of the owner's control. You can't control everything. And if the rises and falls of your practice depend on what happens to every single staff member, that is not a solid plan. It's a plan for disaster. The success of this type of practice is completely dependent upon the owner's ability to recruit and retain strong team players. Now, does this mean, staff out there, awesome staff members, does this mean that you are totally replaceable by this silly piece of paper, by the systems that the doctor introduces into the office? Absolutely not. Wake up. Absolutely not. That means that if we still are able to attract Michael Jordans to the practice and plug them into these existing systems, the practice goes from excellent to elite. And I have some elite practices among these first two rows. I'm talking top 1% of all dental practices in the country. That's what happens when an excellent team meets excellent systems and they collide. You can create that. But at the very least, if you happen to be in an area where you just hit a lull and you can't find the Michael Jordans, at least you have the excellent systems. Aaron was talking about Moneyball. That team was full of average dudes. They're average dudes that went really deep in the playoffs because they were good. And they had a good system behind them. They almost won the whole thing. You guys can do the same thing and relieve a lot of your stress of needing to find the next best thing every time you lose somebody by instilling those awesome systems into your practice. You guys with me? Can I get a nod? Can I get a heck yeah, whoop whoop? All right, still with me. This type of practice model has clearly defined accountabilities for every member of the team. Once these accountabilities are defined, an accountability agreement is committed to and signed by both the doctor and team member. You guys are going to go back on Monday, and you're going to have your meeting like you always do when you come back from a CE event, and they're going to roll their eyes, and they're going to huff and puff, and then the senior gal is going to go, don't worry, 2 weeks, back to normal. But if you make this a positive experience, get their input, make sure you're not shoving anything down their throat, let them guide the practice, let them define the systems, let them create the systems, but define them so you know what they are, put them in contract form, and everybody knows what's up. Failures to perform agreed upon accountabilities are handled in a predetermined and clearly defined fashion. Okay, Mary, so thank you so much for helping me put this accountability agreement. Thank you for signing it. I'm going to sign right here too. This is just a contract that says that, yeah, we agree, we're on the same page, all good. Just so you know, for the sake of the practice, I have to clearly define what happens if you don't live up to these accountabilities. And I know you will because you helped me write this, and this is what you do every day anyway. So Mary, let's just define it, okay? And we'll put it right here on the bottom of the accountability agreement. Just for whatever reason, if any of these protocols that you're supposed to do every day, if you don't do that one time, I'm just going to give you a verbal warning. No big deal. but I'm also going to write it down in your personnel file, just to be sure that we keep on the same track and I remember this at your next review. Okay? You think that the wheels are spinning? Verbal warning. I'm going to write it down on the personnel file. And you guys can do whatever you want. I mean, however you want to do this. As long as it's defined, it's all good. One warning, written down in personnel file. Second warning, maybe a written. Third warning, super secret probation. I don't know. I don't care. But make sure it's defined. At some point down the line, there has to be the risk of termination if they keep on dropping the ball. Because it's showing a lack of respect for your new systems. Everybody in the office is going to have to pick up the slack. Everybody else is going to have their own accountability agreement that they have to worry about, and they don't want to worry about Mary's accountability agreement. It is a self-policing system. And morale improves. You know why? Because the doctor's not huffing and puffing around all day because you're not doing what he wants to do when you never told them what to do in the first place. They know in black and white exactly. This is what my accountability agreement is. If the doctor tries to pull that on you, it's not on my accountability agreement, doc. And if it's not, just add it. It's as easy as that. Now it is. And you have no right to be mad unless you have those types of systems in place. Because they can't read your mind.